Hi everybody, Dave Pizzo here. Hey, I just wanted to share some more with you about the importance of this 24-hour weekend. I want to go back a few years in my history and just let you know that I have had a series of visitations by the Lord, a lot of times in different ways, all of it very healing for me and demonstrative of His love for me. Um, During the time that I was like out of commission, I hadn't done any prayer for anyone that was sick, and so in the last couple of years, um, my wife pulled me over to some of the girls that she was on a greeting team with at church, and she had migraines. Well, in the past, headaches and migraines has been like almost 100% times I prayed for it, it got healed. But I hadn't done it for a long time. And so I put my hand towards, her name was Tanisha. I put my hand towards her head, felt the presence of God come real strong. She looked down and then she looked up. It was gone, the headache was gone. Well, this was something that was um, not just a one-time thing. She had them in series, or chronic migraines. And so I told her that those headaches were never going to come back, and this was about a year ago. I talked to her maybe 4 months ago, and I asked if this headaches ever come back. She says no, they never have come back. That moved me more in the area of seeking the Lord for more of that. I just got a desire to help people in the area of healing, and so the Lord, in His visitations towards me, and I had some visitations very often in the very early morning hours. He'd wake me up, and we just like go through a videotape of stuff he was speaking to me about. And one of the things He asked me to do was to believe Him. And of course, I'm a believer, but I knew what He was asking. He was asking me to believe Him for some really difficult things. And so I began to chew on that and wanted to process myself to become really a believer for Him and anything that He could do. And of course, His power is limited, but I had to come into contact with the reality of what I really believe You for. There was just verbal stuff coming out of my mouth and not really believing in my heart. I stumbled across a guy by the name of Pete Crabera, who was a Puerto Rican living in the state of Kansas, and I caught him on YouTube by accident, and I watched him praying for the sick in the streets, and all these people were getting healed, one after the other, after the other, after the other. So what I developed was an appetite, and I was watching, and as I was watching him deal with people, and he was so natural about it, and so non-religious about it. He had such an ease with people, and people liked him just because he was so practical with the whole thing. And so then I started just watching a lot more videos. I was watching Randy Clark, Bill Johnson, another guy by the name of John Mellor from Australia. And there's a number of them that have YouTube videos that all these guys are recording in the streets or in churches, miracles taking place with healing. And so during this past summer, I found myself in a church outreach at a park on 47th and Hampton Avenue. And I was on the prayer team for that. I wanted to really start exercising some of the things that God was doing in my heart. And so I began getting words of knowledge for people, and I would deliver those words of knowledge and finding out they're very accurate. Well, one of the things that Randy Clark teaches is that words of knowledge are a segue to supernatural healing. And so while I was praying for some people and getting words of knowledge for them, leading them to salvation, there was a woman in a wheelchair. And wheelchairs have freaked me out because I just didn't, it presents a doubt and fear in me, and I just would never approach people in wheelchairs to pray for them. But I did this time because I knew that God was already doing stuff, and I just wanted to pray for this woman in the wheelchair. Well, I talked to her husband, and then I talked to her. She had been in a car accident. She had not been able to walk for 3 months. She had pain across her back and pain down her legs, sciatic, and she hadn't walked for a long time, so she didn't have strength to walk. So I prayed a real quick prayer for her. Within about 30 seconds, the pain going across her back was gone. So then I knew something was happening. When something starts happening, man, you keep pressing forward. So I did. I pressed forward again, and I asked her if she would stand up, and she did. Now, obviously she stands up to get in and out of the wheelchair, but I didn't know what she was able to do. And so as she stood up, the presence of God just really got really strong, and people around me were watching, and all of a sudden I seen believers' hands going up in the air, and they're starting to worship God out loud. And so I kept praying. It says I started commanding the pain to come out of her legs, sciatica, come out of her legs. And so within probably about 2 minutes, she was already walking, and she was taking steps on her own. Somebody recorded this with a camera, digital camera, and that's actually someone posted it on YouTube. And so then she gave testimony how she had not been able to sleep for months. She just started going to a chiropractor this past week and had her first night of sleep. And then after she got prayed for, all the pain in her back and her legs was completely gone, and she had the strength to walk. And at the end of the video, they show her and her husband pushing a wheelchair, and she's walking alongside of it. It was a real miracle. Well, since that's happened, it's just really bolstered my faith that I'm going after other things. I prayed for a basketball player who was out for the season because of a torn ACL and a torn meniscus. And within 2 prayers, he was completely healed. Told him, go see your doctor. You can play basketball this year. And there's been numerous other situations where people were sick. I prayed, and the sickness or the pain or whatever it was healed. So I'm taking all this information and say, God, we can take this into different realms. We can take this. Can we take it to the public schools? Can we get prayer back in the schools? Can we go take us into business? Can there be miraculous financial breakthroughs for people in business? Can we take this to government? Can we see changes in government? Can we see changes in laws that are made and policies, because we bring forth the miraculous power of Jesus Christ? And as I'm speaking now too, I know there's people that are coming that have some real issues. We know of a brother who is in danger of losing his eyesight because he was exposed to lead poisoning when he was a young boy. And there's people I know that facing impossible situations, and I just ready to break this thing forth, that not only will it happen in the spirit realm, but it'll happen among us as well, that there will be miracles that will take place in our hearts, and that we come into whole new ways of believing, and God would put us together and in teams, and we would go after things that seem impossible and bring forth the miraculous power of Jesus Christ. I hope you're with me on this. This is what's been burning in me for months now, before even we set a calendar date for the Warrior Bride. But I really believe that something really significant is going to happen in the Warrior Bride this coming weekend. Come hungry, come with a challenge before the Lord. I want to believe you, Lord. I want to believe you for miracles. Love you guys. We're really looking forward to see everybody. See you soon. Bye.